Hey guys, Condor here. We're back with some more War Thunder today. Now today, the match that I have for you is one in which I flew out the P-51 Mustang, the American variant, of course. Now today, the thing to consider very early on in the battle that pretty much determines the result of this match is teamwork. Now, I don't know if it's just me that's noticed this, but I feel like whenever there is a game with Russian teams, a lot of times they tend to stick together in almost kind of a fighter furball initially, and a lot of times American fighters just end up engaging this furball one by one and just get picked off. Now, the thing that this team did that I thought was really, really smart is we just kind of covered each other's backs. We made sure that when we engaged an enemy, there were teammates around us. Now, I'm not really sure if this happened intentionally or not. I'm pretty sure there was a couple squads on my team that probably, considered this when engaging enemies. But the way this battle happened to work out is that whenever a friendly fighter engaged an enemy, there always happened to be another friendly fighter in the area, which rarely happens when flying the Americans, and often happens quite a bit when flying the Russians, just because that furball just is so hard to penetrate with one single fighter, and it's just extremely important to engage kind of those clusters as a team. Now, right off the bat, obviously, I got the LA-5 while he was trailing the B-25, and right here, I begin to dive on this P-63, take a couple shots, manage to crit his left wing, but I am unable to get the final hit on him. I hit 700 kilometers an hour and pull up at like 10 Gs, and obviously because this is a P-51 variant, it does very well at high speeds and can actually turn quite sharp while going fast compared to other planes that tend to lock up. I honestly think this plane turns much sharper at high speeds, and right there the P-63 got taken out by the friendly Mustang. Now, right here, obviously I had to cool off my engine. This is a Allison engine P-51, so like the Mustang Mark 1A, it overheats really damn fast. And yeah, just because this is a P-51 variant, once again, it does have very good energy retention, so I'm able to close the gap on this Yak-9. He tries to turn around, but he's unable to get guns on. Managed to get a hit right there, and then just put the plane up into the vertical. Turn right back on top of him, and there's really not much the Yak-9 can do right here, and a quick burst from the 4 Hispanos just kind of blazes it. So yeah, at this point in the battle, my team has actually managed to eliminate almost the entire enemy team. Only 3 enemy planes remain. There is the Yak-3 up high that's currently chasing the Spitfire. There is the PE-8, which you'll see later in the battle, and there is the I-16, which is currently about to engage the Mustang Mark 1A. Now, credit to this I-16 pilot, he actually engages this Mustang quite smartly, or quite intelligently. He gets the Mustang to engage in a rolling scissors with him, which obviously benefits him immensely, because not only can his plane roll faster, but it's also way more maneuverable. And as I said earlier, just teamwork is pretty much the only thing that kept that I-16 from getting that kill. Obviously, I was able to come in, quick burst from the Hispanos. He was vulnerable from turning with the Mustang, and I was able to take him out. So that now limits the enemy team to 2 planes. The Yak-3, which honestly goes way far away, and this PE-8. Now I'm going to take this time to talk a little bit about the plane and sort of my opinion of it. Now, the biggest problem I have with this plane is its engine, of course. Now, the Allison engine just overheats like crazy, and it takes forever to cool down. Like, it takes an outrageous amount of time. Like, some engines overheat quickly, but they also take a short amount of time to cool down, like the Beaufighter, for example. This thing not only overheats really fast, but just fucking takes forever to cool down. Also, the Allison engine, its supercharger does not work very well at any altitude above 15,000 feet. So it does not climb very well. Now, this is actually a huge problem when fighting German teams, and even if you saw this in the beginning of the battle, my initial altitude at the start of the combat wasn't very high. Now, right here I managed to get a quick burst onto the PE-8 and take him down. And I shut off my engine to begin to cool my aircraft. Now, I shut my engine off with 48 seconds left on my cooldown timers. Now, just keep this in mind as this part of the battle continues. So, back to the airplane. It has a very kind of mediocre climb rate, which really is just kind of a pain in the ass when you fight the Germans, and fortunately, the Russian team I fought this battle happened to be at low altitude. Now, if you've been watching the timer, as you can see, 40 seconds later, or 30 seconds later, it's still, like, not ended yet. And my plane stays into the red, even past the end of the timer. And somehow, miraculously, my plane doesn't overheat. It changed back from red to orange a couple seconds after the timer ended, and my plane still didn't overheat. Now, right here, I was really pissed, because I thought my plane actually had overheated, and so I just started wepping to see if I could, maybe help out my teammates if that Yak 3 decides to turn back. But he just continues to run, and fortunately for me and the rest of my team, my engine was okay somehow. So I'm not really sure how that happened. I've never really seen this before. Usually when the cooldown timers end, it's almost instantaneous. You see your engine gets damaged, but I guess I just got really lucky because my engine just never overheated. But yeah, so anyways, back to my opinion of the plane. The best thing about this plane, the thing that really just kind of makes it a good plane, is obviously its armament. It has 4 Hispano 20 mils wing mounted, and they make quick work of almost any fighter this tier and above. Like, even the Meteors, I'm pretty sure, have the same armament of this plane. Obviously, they have nose-mounted guns, but, I mean, still, you can see how much work they do, like, even in the upper tiers. Now, I know that's kind of not the best example, because jets are actually really delicate, but, like, trust me, these cannons do work. That's all you need to know. So, anyways, after a couple minutes of flying, I managed to hunt this Yak 3 down. I managed to get above him, and then I begin a shallow climb on top of him. There's really not much he can do right here. This plane is very good in a dive. It's quick accelerating, and it maneuvers well once you get to high speeds. And he tries to turn under me, but I just cut the engine to make sure I don't overheat. Take a couple shots right here, don't connect with anything, and then right here I kind of spray a little bit, and I didn't realize how low my ammo was, and I actually got a really lucky crit with like my second to last burst, which actually ended up killing him. But that was actually really fortunate because I wasn't paying attention. Now, this thing does have 500 rounds of ammunition, but spread across 4 guns, it's really not as much as I anticipated, so I almost like really fucked up right there, and I actually got really lucky again. So yeah, I got pretty lucky this battle. I'm gonna admit, this could have gotten really bad if I had only a couple things had gone differently, but fortunately for me, the second to last burst did manage to hit. Completely fucked up his, I think, left wing. I wasn't sure what it said in the chat. I wasn't looking. But yeah, I was able to take down my 5th and final enemy in the battle, and we were able to pull out the victory, which rarely happens against the Russians. So, anyways, to kind of wrap this video up, this plane is really good, especially for its BR. It actually sits at 3.7, which really isn't that bad. It doesn't really climb well. Its engine sucks, but its armament and its dive speed and dive maneuverability are godlike. And yeah. With that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys have any requests for the future, I mean, I would love to hear what you guys have to say. If you want me to fly out any plane, I'll be happy to see what I can do. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been the Condor, and I'll see you later.